Oh my god.
Hi, girlies. Hello, Jenny.
Hi, Bria.
What is up?
What is up? There's a lot going on right now.
I know. You are like really in the thick of your wedding planning.
Yeah, you haven't had to experience this, so it's hard to like be like, Bria, what did you do?
I didn't do shit.
Yeah. You eloped. She eloped.
Listen, I recommend it.
I mean,
after seeing what you're going through, honestly, it's like kind of a lot.
I've contemplated. Like right now, I just had a call yesterday with the invitation person.
Jesus.
And I think the problem with me is that like these are expensive things and I want to make sure like I'm picking the right decision.
Yes. Also, this is like one day.
Right. This is the day.
You only got one chance to get it right.
This is the day that I've dreamt of. Like, you know, I'm an only child.
Did you dream of it like as a kid?
Yeah, a little. Yeah, like I remember like drawing a pic. This is when I had a crush on my like kindergarten crush. I remember like drawing a picture of like us getting married.
Oh
and,
my
like,
God.
Being at the aisle. Yeah. And then
Damn.
Yeah. Whoops. He's married now and has a kid. So good for him.
Good for him. Shout out to him.
Right now, I have to pick the invitation and the like invitation suite.
Like the envelope?
All of it. So
is it going to come in a box?
No.
Okay, I don't know. Some people do that. Some people do that.
It's not coming in a fucking box, but I did.
All right.
I did get I went to a lot of bar and bat mitzvahs, and one time I got an invitation that was a little drum kit in a box. It was like the first, like, you know, when you're little back in the day before like Amazon and all that, you would get a package. You'd be like, whoa, I never get a package.
Yeah.
It was like that.
Deal.
It was a big deal. Anyway, so right now we're trying to figure out the invitations, and I'll be like, what do you like? And he doesn't care about these kind of like minute details. Like,
he doesn't care about like the colors, the fonts.
The weight of the paper. I'm being asked to figure out what weight of the paper
Heavy.
I want it to be. And
medium
like
heavy.
The invitations person's like, do you want 2-ply or 1-ply? And I'm like, 2 feels nicer, but how much more expensive is it? Yeah.
Is it a lot more expensive?
I'm sure, because it's like double the paper on top of each other. Jesus. And then she's done so many cool invitations, and you kind of get like wrapped up in it. You're like, well, I want mine to be cool. What if we did something cool like they did? And she was like, yeah, these people spent $10,000 on their invitations. And I was like, oh my God. Like our budget.
I don't even know how this is. I genuinely don't understand how this is possible. Like, how are people doing it? We watched 4 weddings. So Jenny and I and the gang, we recently did a sleepover and we watched 4 weddings. And like their budgets, this was back in 2010 or whatever, but their budgets are like $20,000.
Not in LA. They're not in LA.
No, they're not.
But
their weddings are also like all bad.
Yeah, they're all really cringe. But like my best friend that got married in Colorado like 6 years ago, I want to say, I shouldn't say what her budget is because I think she told me, but like her budget was around that, maybe a little bit more. Our budget is not.
I can't imagine like spending
not at all
over $50,000 on a wedding. Like I genuinely, it's hard to fathom like how the average, I guess you get help from your parent, like most people get help from their parents, but I just don't get it. It's so astronomical.
I mean, Nico was like, if you wanted to elope and save this money for a house, like he would have done that. But for me, it's like I always wanted to have a bat mitzvah because I'm Jewish. I didn't have a sweet 16. You know, I don't have like a sister to like live vicariously through getting married. And
wow.
What?
That's some like real only child shit.
I know. I swear to God, if I wasn't an only child, I wouldn't be like so into this.
Well, actually, no, because you've gone to so many weddings of your friends.
I know, but I want to like beat them all. I want to have the best.
And you don't think that you would feel that way if you had a sibling?
I I don't think I would care as much, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, my cousin getting married, I don't know. I think if I had a sibling that, like, let's say I had a sibling, like a sister, we were 2 years apart, we had similar friends, and, like, all of our friends were at her wedding and we all got to party together, maybe I wouldn't feel as, like, oh, I need to do this.
I see. But
I don't know.
All of your friends are at, each other's weddings. I'm sure there's some overlap.
Not like all of our friends. Like his college friends have gotten married. We've all gone to those weddings. That's fun. His childhood friends have all gotten married. We've gone to those weddings. And like maybe a couple of my friends have gotten married, like Maddie. That's the other thing. Not a lot of my friends have gotten married like his. So I'm like, I want to party with my friends. None of the girlies in our group have got. Well, no, Claire. That's true. But yeah.
Claire had a very chill wedding, and I feel like your wedding is going to be kind of like, there's going to be more people. It's going to be more like rager vibes. That's
like I miss the days of a good college party.
I feel like it's going to be very that.
Yeah, like it is kind of hard weaning off as someone who's really outgoing, weaning off of like going to a college party school and we hosted a lot of college parties that a lot of people would show up to, like our senior year. And then going from that and then just having year after year less of those things, it's like, I don't know, sometimes I kind of miss them.
Wow. I never really feel like I missed that. I feel like it was so good at the time, but I don't crave like a rager nowadays. Maybe it's because I don't really drink. Like back then I was drinking a lot.
I like a house party. I don't need to go to a club at all.
I definitely prefer a house party to a club. Yeah.
I can take my shoes off maybe, depending, like,
There's
I'm comfortable.
Snacks.
There's a couch you can sit on.
Yes.
Yeah. You really get into the tea,
For sure.
That's my vibe.
Okay, good. Well, I'm personally very much looking forward to raging at your wedding. I feel like it's really going to be a crazy night for me. I'm probably not going to drink, but.
Oh, the other cool thing that I've done is I booked a house. So we're going to stay at a house in Malibu on the beach for our wedding weekend, which.
Oh my God.
This is another thing. It's like, I feel like there's a lot of like excuses to like do stuff that you would literally never do.
Oh, that's not where I thought you were.
What were you thinking?
I thought you were going to say, I feel like there's a lot of excuses that people are giving me for not coming.
For what?
For like the pre-wedding weekend or whatever.
Oh, not yet.
But yeah, this is like your time to really go big.
So I'm excited for that. It's like 4 bedrooms. So like we're going to figure out if like 3 couples want to stay there kind of thing. And yeah.
Oh my God.
That made me excited. I was like, okay.
I'm excited to experience a big wedding. Like I really haven't. So it'll be exciting.
We'll see. Should we talk about what we've done to prepare for this interview or podcast?
Oh my God. My stomach is
growling. Your stomach?
Yeah.
Is there a baby in there?
Maybe. That was the baby being like, help me.
Help.
Hello,
I'm hungry.
You don't know about me.
I today had a little bit of my vape pen.
What?
Can you try some of it? I can pull it. Do you want me to pull it out?
Tell them what it is.
It's a fizzy. I think it's like a fake Stizzy. It says it's movement. It looks just like a Stizzy, but the people at the dispensary store, I can't remember which one it was, said that they liked this better than Stizzy's, and it's cheaper. It was like $30.
Do you just swap out the top? Or is it disposable?
No, it's disposable.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love a vape pen, but when I buy them, I am just hitting the vape 24/7. And I'm like, I notice after a while, like, oh my God, I'm like perpetually high because I just keep hitting the vape.
I really don't like vapes at all. This one, the true test for me is it going to make me sneeze? For real. I think I'm allergic to like the oil or something. I don't know. Like it burning. Like every time I hit Nico's vape, I sneeze. I'm like, it's so bad. So that's why I'm like so turned off by it.
Oh shit.
That never happens to me when I smoke flower. Ever. I cough.
Yeah.
But I don't sneeze.
Yeah, the sneezing is interesting. Maybe you are allergic.
Let us know if you do the same thing.
Let us know if you're a doctor and have an answer.
Do you sneeze when you hit vapes? I've heard other people do that too.
I have never heard of that. That's interesting.
Maybe I'm just
coughing for
I'm
sure.
a sensitive flower.
Well, speaking of sensitive flowers, our topic today is one that is extremely funny to me. We're going to go through our favorite celebrity meetings. Listen, Jenny Levine, I met celebrities because of where I worked. Jenny meets celebrities like everywhere she fucking goes. I don't know how you've lived a life just meeting this many amazing celebrities and having such funny stories, but I'm very jealous. It's exciting.
I think it's like a luck thing, luck charm. Also, I'm from Los Angeles, so
right, yeah.
There's a lot of that.
You've had time.
Yeah, you know, I mean, when you're like, my mom had a job that gave her a lot of opportunities to go to events and stuff like that. I think that's part of it. You know, I don't know. It just happens.
You've just
Do you not like run into celebrities since you've lived here?
No,
never.
Rarely. I saw John Lithgow.
What?
In Beverly Hills.
Where?
I
love him.
It was when I used to work in Beverly Hills, and I was just meeting up with someone for lunch at like the CPK on Beverly or something.
He was at CPK?
No, he was like walking the street to somewhere.
By himself?
Yeah.
Did he walk like...
No, but I saw him and I was like, oh my God, it's the murderer from Dexter. He creeps me out from that. I also saw Gigi Gorgeous in Beverly Hills.
See, okay. I feel like I've seen in my lifetime the most celebrities in Beverly Hills.
Yeah. That's like, actually where I met a lot, or like where I've seen a lot.
Specifically, like in the heart of like the shopping area. And like my mom and I, every weekend, I want to say, or every other weekend, we would go get our eyebrows done at Anastasia.
Ugh, classic.
Yeah, before they had the makeup, all of that, we would go there because Oprah, I don't know if you remember, Oprah had her on her show.
No, I don't remember that. Oh my God. I remember the Kardashians were going.
We went Anastasia. Before, well, I'm sure they were going when we were going. Like, we started going to Anastasia before the Kardashians had a show. Because I remember going in, like, 6th or 7th grade to get my eyebrows waxed. And then in 7th grade, I had a friend, like, see me naked and was like, have you ever gotten waxed down there? And I was like, no. Should I? And they're like, yeah. Apparently all the girls in my grade were already getting waxed in 7th grade. And so I asked my mom if I could get a bikini wax. And she was like, absolutely not. And then I shaved. And then my mom was like, what the fuck? And then
How did she know?
She probably saw me naked or something.
And she was like, you tried to shave?
Yeah. And then she was like, okay, we'll get you waxed. So then I started getting waxed there. Mm-hmm.
They do the full Monty.
Yeah, the full Monty. So that was like... That must have been 2000. We started going there. It must have been like 2004, 2005.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jenny's been around LA a lot. One of my favorite celebrity meetings was actually with Jenny. This was actually, I want to say, one of the first celebrity meetings I had, because I never really, you don't run into celebrities. No way. I'm trying to think.
You went to UCLA.
I know. I was gonna say you don't really run into celebrities there, but you actually do. Not that I can think of. No one huge.
Who?
I remember like Tinashe was supposed to do a performance for us and she canceled. I think I told you that.
Oh, okay.
For voter registration, and so we had Talib Kweli instead. We had like concerts at UCLA, but celebrities there.
Is it Talib Kweli or Talib Kweli?
Talib Kweli? Isn't it with an E?
I don't know.
You guys know what we're talking about.
Okay.
Like, I fucking hate it when people try to come for you when you know what we're saying. You know who we're talking about. If you don't know who we're talking about, then you don't know him.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
Anyway. I met like politicians because I was in student government.
Uh-huh. Which ones?
Sebastian Ridley Thomas. We met a lot of like representatives. Ted Lieu. Jenny and I worked at this agency. I can't remember. Oh yeah, it was a Mar Vista client. Okay, so it was one of
that
my
movie
clients
that I jumped.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was Most Likely to Die. This is kind of like a B movie production.
That's a
company.
nice rating for that movie.
They do like Hallmark movies, Lifetime, like straight to DVD.
Vista, or what is it? Mar Vista?
Yeah.
They do Hallmark movies?
Yeah. And like Lifetime movies. Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So they did Most Likely to Die. We were invited to the premiere where I saw the guy from Garden Party, which is a random movie. He's in other stuff too. You would know who I'm talking about. And that was like my celebrity sighting of the night. And then we watched the movie. It's bad, obviously.
That's so nice of you, Bria.
Oh, Patricia Arquette was also there.
Yes. We love her.
God bless her soul.
Yes.
But we're going, I think we were on our way out and we're on the escalator and we see Perez Hilton, who was in the movie. And so obviously he was at the premiere at the fucking Westfield Mall on Westwood and Pico. Yeah. I don't even think it's a mall anymore. Didn't they close it down?
No, Google bought it for offices and then it's vacant.
Wow, what a waste.
I know. That was the mall.
It was the mall, for sure. But we stopped Perez. Of course, I think it was probably Jenny who was like, hey, wait, Perez. Like, we love you.
Yeah, because all you bitches are too scared. And you're like, oh, my God, it's Perez Hilton. Oh, my God, it's Perez Hilton. I'm like, let's go talk to him.
This was 2016, which was definitely after, like, his heyday.
Well,
his heyday was like
skinny.
2006.
I think he's skinny Perez Hilton. Yeah.
Skinny Perez had already had the twins. Doesn't he have twins? But we stop him. He was lovely, from what I can remember. He was nice. Like, he took the picture and talked to us for a second, and it was interesting. You grow up disliking Perez because of his awful blog, but he's actually quite nice in person.
I mean, of course. I feel like you
would think he'd be kind of shady, though. Kind of like sarcastic, shady, and he was just like...
I think every shady person can come off as they're not shady.
Ooh, that's kind of
it's
part
like
of the
inside
shade.
you. Yeah, because if you were just a bitch, you're not being shady. You're just a bitch.
That's so true.
But you have to have that mask, and then
the mask comes off.
Yeah,
you're so right.
But he is like the definition of an internet troll.
He was like the first internet troll.
Yeah. So
he was great.
Of course, he's like that. Of course, he's just a keyboard warrior.
He is. And then in person, he's not going to say shit.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It all makes sense. You're so right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like my first celebrity meeting situation, I think, that I can remember. But you met someone at the Kids' Choice Awards at a very young age, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was so young that part of me is like, was that a dream or was that real? Because it was so young and it was so early in her career. So, okay, so every year, my mom, well, not every year, but pretty much, I would say maybe since I was like 5 until I was like 13, and then there were a couple years where I would go to the Kids' Choice Awards, the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards, every single year. And the first year I ever went, I saw Destiny's Child perform, which was iconic. And then I would say probably the next year or the year after, we were sat on the floor. And so when you're sitting on the floor in an award show, like, you can see all those celebrities. And then during like the commercial breaks, they get up and go to the bathroom. So there was this one artist who just had a single come out. You may have heard of her. Her name is Rihanna.
Was the single Pon de Replay?
It totally was.
Oh
I think she was nominated for Pon de Replay.
Oh my God, classic.
And I knew her. I mean, listen, Pon de Replay was a bop.
Certified bop.
Certified bop.
To
I
this
remember
day.
that shit like... Well, okay, so maybe it wasn't like a couple years after, because I feel like that came out and I had an iPod. Right?
Okay. I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay.
But go on.
Yeah, because it was anyway. So details are not important. I went over and said hi to her, and I was like, can I take a picture with you? And I feel like I did, but I don't know where the picture is. And then the next year she was there, and I went up to her, and she was like, I remember you. I love your hair. And I had really this is like before I started straightening my hair or anything. She was like, I love your hair. It's so beautiful, in her beautiful accent. And I was just like Rihanna knows me. Because I feel like at this point, a year after Ponder Replay, she's starting to date Chris Brown. Like, she is boom, like, but skyrocketing.
You.
Yeah.
I've heard stories about her like that before, or like seen videos of her.
No way, really?
I've seen videos of her where she'll be meeting someone and be like, oh my God, Cynthia, girl, come here. I haven't seen you in 2 years. And she's like, yeah, I moved.
What an angel.
Like, she literally remembers everyone.
She's a true angel. I mean, I almost reconnected with her last year when work had like an event and she was there, but I didn't see her. Because I would have said, like, hey, girl.
She probably been like, oh, my God, you were the little girl with the curly hair.
No, I mean, I'd have to probably remind her. But
yeah, because honestly, like, I see some pictures of you as a child, and I don't think they look like you. You've changed a lot. I don't know. I feel like you might be a clone.
Bitch.
An AI.
How you feeling over there?
We'll post some pictures, and you guys will see what I mean.
Okay.
But speaking of lovely people, I want to tell a story of an amazingly lovely, beautiful soul that I met when I was working at a podcast network.
Please do.
This is where I met all my celebs. I worked at a podcast network that was very much, I didn't know it when I got there, but it was very much conservative, right-wing, enabling. They had a show with like Laura Ingraham. It was like they had people like that. And I was working on the website and social media, but I wanted to do development. So I started getting invited to the development meetings where they would bring someone in for the first time to like give them the whole spiel about what it's like or whatever. And they invited me to a meeting with Megyn Kelly. Our favorite. Did you hear my
stomach drop when you said
your stomach
that?
dropped. They invited me with Megyn Kelly. I'm going into this meeting like, oh, this bitch. Like, this was after she had sued NBC.
Yeah.
And so I think she was just like trying to make her next move. And I was like, oh my God, she's going to be so annoying. I only know her from her clips from Fox News where she's like, kids, don't worry. Jesus is white. Santa is white. Everyone else is lying.
She said that?
Yes. So I was like, ugh, but I'm trying to, show them that I'm serious. So I go to the meeting. And when I tell you, this woman came alone to the meeting. Usually people bring like their agent, manager, something. She comes alone. And it's me and the founder of the company, God rest his soul. He was like,
wait, did he die?
Yeah, he died like a year or two ago.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
What happened?
I think he had cancer. He had throat cancer, and then it like came back. I can tell them who it is. It's Norm Pattis.
Do you like him? Okay, yeah. Sorry.
So he's like really powerful. I
didn't know he died. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, very much in control of the radio situation back in like the 90s and 2000s and all that.
Oh, wow.
So he's kind of like big shot guy. You have this other man who's just like there trying to basically talk you into signing with us, like very agent-y almost. And then there's me. And so she goes into this meeting with these two men and is just like, listen, I don't need the money. I know my worth. And I know what I'm looking for. And if you can't do that, then I'm going to get the fuck out of here. And they were like shook because we're used to people coming in and being like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I want this podcast so badly. Like, I want to talk about this. They're selling themselves to Podcast One. But she was just like, I don't need you hoes. So like, what can you offer me? And they give her like the standard deal or whatever. And she's like, but I want to film it too.
By herself.
Yeah. And she's like, but I want to film it too. I want like a studio with like cameras. And they're like, that's not a podcast. Like, that's a show. This was before everyone was filming their podcast.
Oh, wow.
So she's like, I want to film my podcast too. And they're looking at her like she's insane. And they're like, we don't do that. Like, if you want to go to Fox News and be on TV again, go to Fox News and be on TV. But basically, like, it's not going to happen.
Whoa.
And she was like, okay, well, then I'm not into it. And I was really taken aback by how, like, confident she was.
Yeah.
She was so confident and just, like, walked into that room and was just straight up like, I don't need you. You need me. Give me what I want to fuck off.
She was right.
And she was right. She was ahead of her time. And now she does have a radio show that is also filmed on Sirius XM. But I kind of, like, shifted my viewpoint of her after that meeting. I was like, okay, you're a bitch, but you're also that bitch in a way.
Yeah.
And
she's a boss.
She's a boss bitch. And, like, I hate everything she says. I don't think I've ever heard anything come out of her mouth and be like, oh my God, that's so smart. Like, yes, I agree. But in that meeting, I was like,
if she stripped away her microaggressions
or aggressions,
she would be unstoppable.
Yeah. Like, that's how I imagine people like Beyonce walk into a room, or like Lady Gaga, like these huge.
A diva.
Like, she's a diva. Yes. Like,
she ain't no
diva, but she was a diva. She really was a diva. And I admired that. And I never saw anyone come into our office for a meeting. We met with like a bunch of people. We met with like the billionaire who owns Lowe's Hotels because he wanted a podcast, and like Waka Flocka and T.I. and like all these people.
Not to be confused with Kel.
What?
Do you know that people think that Waka Flocka is like...
Stop.
Yeah.
I can't.
People think that Kel is Waka Flocka. Anyway.
People are racist. Anyways, which I saw Waka
they
Flocka
look,
actually.
I mean, they look very similar. Not identical, but they look...
I don't see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like the most iconic person I think that I met at Podcast One. Everyone else was like, I met a lot of like cool, nice people that like are awesome. I met fucking New York at Podcast One.
Oh,
it was
my God.
epic.
Wait, you have to talk about that.
I don't really have a story. Like,
what was she like though?
She was, so I went up to
Was she like how she is on TV?
No.
No.
I go up to the studio. I watch her whole episode. She was on Spencer and Heidi Pratt's show.
Okay.
And then she comes out, and the producer, Steve, shout out to Steve. I literally used to bother him every single time because he had the best guests on his shows. He introduces me to her, and I was like, I was speechless. Like, I've never felt so speechless.
Wow.
I was like, I feel like you partially raised me. Like, I've been watching you since Flavor of Love.
You said this?
Like, I blacked out like halfway through. I don't even know what I said. And she was like, oh my God, thank you so much. You are so sweet. She was literally so nice and like warm and like motherly.
Wow.
I
believe that.
It was amazing. She was it's a character. Like, who she plays is totally a character. It's an iconic character, but deep down, she is like the most amazingly beautiful, nice person ever.
Do you remember why he nicknamed her New York?
No, maybe because she had like a New York attitude. I think that was it. But yeah, she was amazing. I would love to hear another story from you. Should we talk about Tory Lanez?
Yeah.
Is this a good story or a bad story?
It's a hard story. It's a hard story because, well, I mean, nobody else was around when it happened.
We know what he does when he thinks no one's watching.
I don't like kicking someone when they're down. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
But I'm going to tell the story. Okay. But I have to tell you how I feel telling it. Like, I have this, like, hesitation in my heart because
he got in trouble for shooting someone.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like Chris Brown in a way where, like, you want to root for the guy because he's so talented, but, like, you keep doing really fucked up shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, so I used to work at Amazon Music, and I want to say this is like 2019. This is before the Megyn Thee Stallion's shooting occurred. It's before the pandemic. It's either the end of 2019 or the beginning of 2020 because I was in like the building that I didn't work in because I was there for like capturing content with him. And I also like kind of blacked this out from my brain because
no.
It's triggering, to be honest, like a little bit, just because of things I've experienced in the past.
Okay.
But so he comes and we listen to his music, and I can't remember why this happened, but like I feel like everybody on my team was like busy talking to like his managers or label people or whatever. And then I was like, "Can I get content with you?" And it was really loud. I think it's a really small, it was like a bungalow. It's like a really small building on like the Amazon Studios lot. And at the time, there was like the listening room where you would listen to the music. Then like everybody sat in like a main common area of this like little tiny shack, basically. And then there was one room on the other side that I don't think it had a door on it, but it was more like private.
Okay.
So we went back there and we were shooting content, and me and him, just me and him. And I don't know. I basically, from what I remember, is like, do you know that feeling when some guy is trying to shoot their shot with you or like flirting with you? Just in the way that they're talking. They're not necessarily like asking you out or telling you nice things about you.
But their energy is like flirtatious.
They have that swagger energy, but it's not attractive. It's like off-putting. I don't know. Maybe because I'm in a relationship, I feel like this.
No, I felt that even when I was single. Like you just get like the ick kind of.
I got the ick. I got the ick. Like I'm trying to be nice and be like, yeah, but I'm getting the ick. And then he hugs me goodbye, and it's just too long of an embrace, and his fingers get close to my butt. And I have a really big butt, so I feel like maybe he saw and was like, I'm going to touch that ass.
Oh
and
my God.
I just, like, again, like, a lot of it is, like, the details of the conversation and everything is blocked out of my brain. But I just remember walking away from that and being like, that guy is disgusting. And then when the stuff came out with Megan Thee Stallion, I was like, why am I not fucking surprised? Why? I'm not surprised at all.
Oh my God.
It was almost like it's just like crazy because also so many artists would come into our office, right? And I would have to do the same thing, like take content with them. Maybe we weren't alone, but whatever. But like we would still hug goodbye or be like, thank you. He was literally the only one that I ever got this like ick feeling from.
Bad energy.
It was just bad energy.
Vibes.
I was like, maybe as a woman, as a female, I feel like you try to like reposition how you think about things in your head. Like
you gaslight yourself.
You're like, okay, that gave me the ick, but maybe he's just being nice, you know? Maybe I'm reading too much into this. Mm-hmm. And then after the Megan Thee Stallion stuff, I was like, no, bitch, you were right.
Yeah.
You were
the
like,
vibes are definitely off.
This is giving predatory vibes.
Oh my God.
So I'm sorry. I feel bad that you are the way you are.
It's bad that you are the way you are. Well, that is a very triggering story. And speaking of triggers, I want to tell the story of meeting Trisha Paytas because it was iconic. And I'll be brief because I've told this story before, but
where?
I told it on my TikTok. So if you're on my TikTok, you have heard this story before.
I was like,
so I'll be brief.
Vlog? No, on your TikTok.
No. Yeah, on the TikTok. So she came in for a meeting. She actually had already signed. So this was like her onboarding meeting where we walk her through what the marketing is we're going to do, how the recordings are going to go, whatever. So she comes in with Jordan Ramona. And sorry. Let me re-say that. So she comes in with Jordan Rona, who was her manager at the time. We get through the whole meeting. By the way, Trisha Paytas is a very intelligent person. She's very business savvy. So we end the meeting. I wasn't going to say anything. And then the head of production stops her as she's walking out the door and is like, Bria, like, she would never say this to you, but she is a huge fan. Will you please take a picture with her? And I was like, oh my God, you bitch. But like, thank you. And she's like, oh my God, yeah, of course. And she was so nice. And she wraps her arm around me and just squeezes, like pinches here. And is like, oh my God, you are so skinny. You're tiny. And I was like, thank you.
Oh my God.
It was the best day of my life. And if you want to see the picture, I did put it on TikTok, but it was an iconic moment.
So I have a theory that might be controversial.
Tell.
And I was thinking about this when I told you that my favorite person on Housewives is Garcelle, and you were like, she's annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to understand why you like Trisha Paytas. And the face that you just made. Okay, so I don't want to like shade her because I would love if she came on this podcast.
Girl, she is not coming on here. Although she did say, she was just like, I go on any podcast. Like, I go on podcasts willy-nilly. She does.
Why do you like her so much?
I think that she has a very clever sense of humor. I think that's what I was telling you about, that where she was clever.
Yeah, but it's more than that, though. You almost feel like... Okay, so this is what I don't know if this is right, but this is how I think about it in my mind for me.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? Okay, so like when I told you that I like Garcelle and she's my favorite, you were like, oh, she's annoying. And I was like, what? You don't like her? And then I was thinking about like, I really gravitate towards like a strong Black woman. Mm-hmm. Like I feel almost like I root for them. I feel like it's like a second motherly feeling, because I think
she is very motherly.
So I feel like it's like that for you.
I do not feel mother tendencies about Trisha. I think that she's just like funny. Okay. Like I find her funny, not in the jokes that she tells, but in the way that she talks and like the way that her mind works. But it's not just
funny. Like
it is funny.
No, because I feel like you have like she has a spot in your heart.
Yeah, she does have a spot in my heart.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
you know what? It might be similar in that she is someone who I've been following for so long and she has been so mentally unwell and like gone through so much. And now she's at this point where she's like married and she has her kid, Malibu Barbie, and she has baby Elvis on the way.
Oh my God. Elvis.
And she is really like coming into it. This is her like third podcast that she's tried to do, and like it's finally working. Yeah. Like even the one at Podcast One was like, you know, not like the ideal situation. And so I kind of like root for her in that sense, I think.
Because I feel like if she was just funny, I don't think you would care about getting a hug from her. Because like I think about like if I ever met Garcelle, I would want to hug her. I would just want to hug her and be like, I love you.
Yeah, I don't feel that way about Trish. I know what that feeling is, but it's not that. It's just like a...
But when you hugged her, you're like, oh my God.
I thought it was funnier, or like I was more...
Oh, okay.
I was more about her being like, you're so skinny. Like, I thought that was so cute and funny. And it was less about like, I'm like in Trisha Paytas' embrace. Like...
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But, you know, that's something that Jenny and we don't see eye to eye on. We don't both like her. But you know who we do both like? J. Beebs.
Oh,
J.
yes.
Beebs. Spill the tea on J. Beebs.
Well, let's see. Where do I begin? Justin Bieber was so I didn't meet him necessarily. It was like more in passing. But my mom, again, I think through work, got invited to his second premiere of his movie. I'm not a huge...
Believe or whatever?
I think it was Believe, yeah. And he had like a purple carpet. So this is like at the crux of like, because he had that movie and everyone was like obsessed with it, and he had his like swoopy hair. So the second movie is like at a pivotal time where he is moving out of the like, I haven't gone through puberty phase, and he's trying to figure out, or he's a teenager, right? Mm-hmm. So he's changing, but I feel like his audience wasn't with him yet, if that makes sense.
Like his audience was still like children.
Like the fact that he's having another movie premiere and it's like all children and
Okay, yeah.
It looking back on it, it feels so paradoxical.
Yeah, I get that.
It's an interesting time. So anyway, so I'm on the carpet, this purple carpet, and we're just watching like celebrities walk on. Kendall Jenner is there. Kylie Jenner walks out. Jaden Smith walks out. And then this Sprinter van pulls up and the doors open. And this just like wafting cloud of smoke fills this purple carpet with like girls who are like 12 years old. Like I'm in college, so I'm probably like 19 at the time, thinking like I'm a little too old to be here.
Oh my God.
Like I was like, okay, I like Justin Bieber, but I'm not like them. They're screaming like, you know, and then he walks out. He has sunglasses on and he's already late. Like he's really late. So as soon as he steps foot onto that carpet, everyone's like, okay, let's go to the movie. So we're all walking the carpet and I look to my right and he's right there. Like we are like walking in synchrony. And I look at him and I go, oh my God, Justin Bieber, I love you. And he looks at me. I can tell he's blazed out of his mind. And he looks at me, he goes, thanks. And then his bodyguard sees that and his bodyguard comes right in between me and him and he pushes me out of the way. And that is not the first time a bodyguard has pushed me out of the way. I'm a celebrity. So yeah, that was it.
Thanks. Monkey covering eyes emoji. Thanks. That's great. I feel like that is exactly the kind of behavior that I would expect from Justin Bieber, especially in that era when he was like pissing in mop buckets and whatnot. That was that era, right?
He pissed in a mop bucket?
Yeah, he like went into the kitchen in a restaurant that he was visiting and peed in the bucket and his friend was filming. He was just such a little shit.
No, he wasn't a shit. He was a teen. Do you know the fucked up shit that I've done in college?
But teenage boys are like usually little shits.
Yeah, but it's just sad. It sucks for celebrities who are that young who get scrutinized for doing stuff that their age group is already doing anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like half of the, water polo team in high school pissed in a mop bucket probably.
Oh, wow.
It's still douchey.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. But it happens.
Did you have a water polo team?
In Pleasanton, yeah.
Oh, wow. We didn't have that.
Shout out to the water polo players out there.
I was like,
Claire.
That's a specific pole.
Yeah.
The water polo team.
Because I think of them as just like the ultimate douchebags, but that's just me. Anyway, I feel like we've been going on for a while. I wanted to tell the Khloe Kardashian story. I'll be brief.
Whatever.
She came in for a podcast to be on Laura Wasser's podcast, who was her divorce attorney. That is, if you want to listen to some fucking tea, go to Laura Wasser's podcast. It's still on Podcast One's website. And listen to the Khloe Kardashian episode because she walks through the entire Lamar Odom divorce.
Ugh.
But
that's a sad one for me.
Yeah, it is sad. But she was so nice, and the security guard was pretending to not know who she was. I'm pretty sure you knew who she was, Jean. There's no fucking way you didn't. And he says, "You look really familiar. You know who she is." And she replies, "Oh, well, I'm one of the Kardashian sisters." And she says it just like that. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, you're Khloe." And she's like, "Yeah." And she like gets off the elevator and like comes in or whatever.
Wow.
And that little like snippet of her personality, as well as her coming in and going up to everyone and being like, "Hi, I'm Khloe." Like, we don't all know that you're Khloe, but like you still take the time to go around, showed me like, okay, she's not snobby. She's down to earth. She's cool. And then you listen to the podcast and she's so honest and just like out there. It really makes me feel bad about all of the bad things that have happened to her. Like,
I know.
I think that she is such a nice, sweet person. The best.
Yeah.
It's just sad, even though she did say the N-word, but other than that, she's been really sweet. So I just wanted to end on a little sweet note.
Oh my God. did she do that?
On the show.
What?
On Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
When?
She was saying that everyone calls her an N-word lover. Because, like, someone was upset about what the blogs were saying about them. I think it was Kim. And she's like, they're saying all this stuff about me. Like, I don't know. I'm just so annoyed. And she's like, what? Why do you care what they say? They say all kinds of stuff about me. They always call me an N-word lover. But she actually said it and they bleeped it. So,
Whoa.
That is on the show if anyone wants to reference it. But, you know, she was nice.
Okay.
She was nice. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up, and we have a quote that we want to leave you with. So we're going to leave you with this quote for you to take in after hearing all these celebrity stories.
You are the main character of your own story.
And I'm sure people meet you, and they're like, oh my God.
You are not a supporting character. You are a main character.
Period.
And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
No, it is a good thing, for sure. Be the main character in your life, people. Take the reins.
Yeah. Write your narrative.
Period. Okay, and with that,
Love you, Bria.
love you as well.
Wait. Hug hand.
Oh.
Hand hug.
Bye, girlies. You're supposed to say bye, girlies.
I said bye. I was saying bye, girlies.
Why were you saying bye so slow? You're going bye.
I don't know, because I'm a little high. Sorry.
Oh my God.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Bye, girlies.